The wind didn't start like a storm. It started like a whisper. Soft, almost human, brushing past the fields just as the turbines began to turn. No one noticed at first. Not the farmers. Not the workers maintaining the towers. Not even Daniel, who had spent the last 5 years studying wind patterns across this forgotten stretch of land. But Daniel heard it. At exactly 2:17 a.m., the turbines shifted direction against the natural wind flow. And then the whisper came again. Not in his ears, in his head. He froze in front of his monitor, watching the live feed. The blades weren't just spinning. They were adjusting, as if listening. Daniel leaned closer to the screen. The sky above the turbines twisted unnaturally, clouds folding inward like something breathing beneath them. And then the audio system picked it up. A sound no weather model could explain. It wasn't static. It wasn't interference. It was a voice. Faint. Broken. Dragging itself through the wind like it had been waiting for someone to finally hear it. Daniel whispered, barely able to breathe. "What are you?" The turbines stopped. All at once. Dead still. And for a moment, the entire world went silent. Then the voice answered, and it said his name. Daniel didn't move. He couldn't. The screen flickered, the camera shaking as if the wind itself had turned violent. But outside his station, everything was still. Too still. Daniel, the voice wasn't coming through the speakers anymore. It was inside him. Low. Hollow. Like something echoing through a place that shouldn't exist. His fingers trembled over the keyboard as he pulled up the turbine diagnostics. All systems offline. That was impossible. These turbines were designed to withstand extreme storms. Even total power loss wouldn't freeze them like that, unless they weren't being controlled anymore. Daniel switched to thermal imaging, and that's when he saw it. Something moving inside the clouds. Not lightning. Not air currents. Something massive. Shifting. Watching. The clouds pulsed as the shape pressed closer to the surface of the sky, like it was trying to break through. The turbines creaked. Slowly one blade turned. Then another. But not with the wind. Against it. The voice returned, clearer now. "You hear me?" Daniel stumbled back, knocking over his chair. No, this isn't real. But deep down, he knew it was, because the turbines began to align. All of them, pointing directly at the control station. At him. The first scream came from the field. Daniel rushed to the window, heart slamming against his chest. A worker. He couldn't see who, was running between the turbines, waving his arms like something was chasing him. But there was nothing there. At least, nothing visible. Then the wind hit. Not from one direction. From all directions. At once. The man collapsed mid-step, dragged backward across the dirt like invisible hands had grabbed him. Daniel shouted, grabbing the radio. "Control to field team, respond." "What's happening out there?" Only static answered. Then a laughter. Not human. Not even close. The turbines roared to life. Faster. Faster. Too fast. Their blades sliced through the air with a deafening howl, bending in ways they shouldn't, like they were alive or possessed. And then Daniel saw it again. The shape in the sky. It wasn't hiding anymore. It was descending, stretching downward, pulling the storm with it. The clouds twisted into a spiral, forming something that looked almost like a face. Eyes. A mouth. Wide. Hungry. The wind slammed into the station, rattling the walls. The door burst open, and the whisper returned. Right behind him. "You open the path." Daniel spun around. No one was there, but the air inside the room had changed. It felt crowded, like he wasn't alone anymore. The monitors flickered wildly, each screen showing a different angle of the turbines. But something was wrong. In every feed, there were figures, standing beneath the towers. Dozens of them, perfectly still. Daniel leaned closer, his breath shallow. They weren't workers. They weren't moving. And their faces were turned upward, watching the blades spin. No. He checked the personnel logs. Every worker was accounted for. Inside. Safe. Which meant those things out there weren't human. The wind screamed louder, forcing its way through cracks in the walls, whispering over and over in a language he couldn't understand, but somehow felt. The figures began to move, slowly in unison, each one raising an arm toward the turbines. And then the blade stopped again, mid-spin, defying physics, hovering, waiting. The sky split open with a blinding flash of lightning, and for a single frame, Daniel saw the truth. The turbines weren't generating power. They were channeling something ancient, something that had been waiting beneath the wind for a very long time. And now, it was waking up. The power died. Complete darkness swallowed the station. Daniel's breathing filled the silence, sharp and uneven. Then, one by one, the screens turned back on, but not with the camera feeds, with something else. Coordinates, thousands of them, appearing rapidly across every monitor. Different locations, different countries, different wind farms. Daniel's blood ran cold. No, it's spreading. The turbines outside groaned, their metal frames vibrating as the wind intensified beyond anything measurable. The voice returned. Calm now. Almost satisfied. We were trapped. Daniel backed away, shaking his head. Who are you? The answer came instantly. We are the breath between worlds. The walls cracked. Glass shattered inward as the storm forced itself inside. The figures from the field were no longer outside. They stood at the doorway. Closer now. Too close. Their eyes were empty, their mouths slowly opening, as if trying to speak. But no sound came out, because the wind spoke for them. And it said, "You let us in." Daniel ran. He didn't think. He didn't look back. He just ran into the storm. The wind tore at him, screaming louder than anything he had ever heard, yet beneath it, the whisper remained, constant, guiding, calling. The turbines loomed above him, their blades spinning again, but now they weren't aligned with the land. They were aligned with the sky, with the thing descending from it. Daniel fell to his knees as the air grew heavier, harder to breathe. The storm wasn't just around him anymore. It was inside him. You hear us. The voice was no longer distant. It was clear, close, right behind his thoughts. Daniel screamed, clutching his head. Get out of my head. But the voice didn't leave. It multiplied. Hundreds, thousands, all speaking at once. And then, silence. The wind stopped. Completely. Daniel slowly lifted his head. The turbines stood still. The sky cleared. Everything was normal. For a moment, then Daniel stood up. His movements slow, unnatural. His eyes completely black. And far away, miles from the station, in another wind farm, another set of turbines suddenly changed direction against the wind. And a new voice whispered from inside someone else's mind. Can you hear us now?